YouTubers, Mike Martin's here with the Mike Martin's channel. Man, do I have a story and a half for you guys. Amerifornia now is arrived, and Amerifornia now is becoming the thing, right? We got Texifornia, we got Mexifornia, New Mexifornia, we got Florifornia, we got everything. Why? Well, I'm going to explain to you why. Unfortunately, this channel is very small, and nobody really... This content never really gets out there, but the people that do comment and are part of the channel understand what's happening. Thanks, guys, for at least kind of understanding the situation we're in right now. Now, Amerifornia is here, and what does that mean? People keep saying, Mike, what does that mean, Amerifornia? You keep talking about it. What does that mean? Amerifornia basically means that America turns into California. High unemployment, high taxes, high housing, especially housing. Now, why is there all this friggin' hatred everywhere? Everywhere you go, I'm watching these public freak-out videos. People freaking out at drive-thrus. People pissed off at everybody. Everybody hates each other. Everybody's looking for a reason, calling them, oh, you Trump voter, you're a piece of... Everybody just really ripping each other apart. Well, Americans, it's been happening for a while there, but now it's becoming more and more, and the hatred is growing. Canada, this started in Canada in 2010, after the Vancouver Olympics, where people were starting to realize that, hey, I can't afford to live in my own city. And then they started putting these home buyer loans and all this other Mickey Mouse garbage and lowering interest rates, printing money, doing all kinds of crap to get first-time home buyers in Canada because we're selling out to the Chinese, wealthy Chinese immigration. We were competing with the UK, Australia, New Zealand. But what happened to America? Well, America had something there. It was a little bit different. Their policies, their money laundering laws didn't work in the red states. It only worked in the blue states. And that's why housing in the blue states went phenomenal and crazy. And then once the new president-elect came into power, not president-elect, select, came into power, guess what happened? Amerifornia started kicking off that day. Oh, yeah. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Mike, housing keeps going up during the pandemic. We thought there was going to be a correction. I looked at it and said, yeah, there might be a correction, but you know what? Maybe in Canada, but not in the United States. We haven't had one in Canada. Housing went up like 26%. So, and if you look at it on a benchmark scale across the board, it went up, what, 12 to 16%, depending on kind of how you see it, right? Now, what's happening in America? Well, this is major. U.S. home prices just accelerated at their fastest pace on record. Of course it is! Of course it is! You're probably wondering, well, Mike, everyone... I hate when they make these publications and they say, more and more Americans are moving to bigger office spaces and bigger yards and leaving the city. No, they need... because of COVID. No! More and more Americans are leaving because they can't afford to live in the cities they were born and raised in. Okay? So stop phrasing the words because of COVID. So this has been happening in Australia, in all the major cities, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK. So pay attention, America. According to the Case-Shiller Indices, home prices in America's 20 largest cities have exploded 14.88% year over year in April, since the highest since November 2005. And you remember what the buildup was until 2007, 6, 7, and 8, right? Well, you know what? You're not going to have that buildup. That buildup's going to happen, but you're not going to have that bail-in stuff anymore because nothing's going anywhere. So if you think Americans are pissed off at drive-thrus, wait till they can't even afford to pay rent, and you're going to see what's going to happen. And that's happening across Canada, where Canadian proper is finished. At least in America, you guys have like 50 cities. You have more cities in the state of Texas than Australia and Canada have put together. You guys are lucky in America. And all you do is complain and hate each other. So here it is. San Francisco, Los Angeles. It's all pretty much the blue states. Then you start going into Miamifornia. So that's Las Vegasfornia, Nevadafornia. So all these places are turning into California now. These places are starting to see the supply versus demand issue, but they're not factoring in all the empty homes owned by foreign investors. They never factor that in. They never factor in that they're printing money, and they never factor in, well, we lower wages, but we can't raise wages. Right now, we built a monster in the Commonwealth that if we raise rates more than a quarter percentage points, it's over. It's game over. All cities are seeing home prices appreciate at double digits, a little higher than the Fed's 2% goal. Double digits. Look at my video. Here's the little link up top. Amerifornia, what that means? Housing is going to go up 40 to 100% in 1 year. 40 to 100% up in 1 year. But on a national scale, it even gets worse. Case-Shiller National Home Price Index rose 14.59% year over year in April, the fastest pace in home prices since back to 1988. This is faster than the prior peak acceleration in September 2005. Why? So you're probably wondering, how is this possible? Okay, if there's this COVID, there's no jobs, people are losing job forbearance, more and more people are going to be evicted. It's all part of the plan. Now, guess what? You're probably wondering, what's penting up the demand? Look it up, Americans. $11.5 billion was brought in from Hong Kong in 2020 during this massive pandemic. In 2020, 11.2 or 11.5 billion dollars was brought into your country. You're probably wondering, well, $11 billion doesn't buy too many homes. Yes, it does. One of the $200,000 a house. In Vancouver, guess how much we got in Canada in 2020? $42 billion. Actually, it's $46 billion that they know of in Canada in 1 year. And look what look what's happened to our housing. We can't even get first-time home buyers, even if we gave them 50% down, because they can't afford the payments. We've previously suggested that the strength in the U.S. housing market is being driven in part by reaction in COVID. Stop with the COVID shit! It's not COVID! It's never been COVID. COVID is a good cover for what's happening in the housing market in America. It's the best cover. And potential buyers move out of urban apartments to suburban homes. Again, they're moving out because the rent evictions are going up and people are paying more for rents. And they said, hey, might as well move out, because I've been saying it for years. Get out of the cities. I've been saying it for almost 7-8 years. I did it. I live in a small town now. I did it. I bought a house for $260,000. And that's, people in America like, wow, that's kind of expensive, Mike. No, because everywhere I was looking, we started at $1.8 million for a piece of garbage with no backyard. We have previously suggested the strength in the U.S. housing market is being part in reaction of COVID. Potential buyers move from urban apartments, and then it's not COVID, we know that. April's data continued to be consistent with this hypothesis. The demand surge may simply represent an acceleration of purchases that would have occurred anyway over the next several years. Alternatively, there may have been a secular change in locational preferences, leading to the permanent shift in the demand curve for housing. The number of available homes for sale remains historically small, particularly given to the elevated demand for housing. So, you guys can look this up. LA County, for every one homeless person, there's 4. For every one homeless person in LA County, there's 4 empty units that are owned by foreign investing. No one's looking at it. Foreign investing is crippled. And people are saying, well, this happened like years ago in America. This hasn't been happening lately in America. Yes, it has. Capital flight that's leaving China, now with your new president-select, is going to build your economy is going to be built off your backs, off of housing. And no more major exports like you used to have. No more major, So I'm going to put this out there to make this very clear. When all these channels about housing says, oh, the correction's coming and the housing correction and this and that, we're still in mid-2020 during the election, well, toward the election and stuff, was the, what do you call it, when they were out, not protesting, when they were out doing their election stuff, and then they were out and, vote for me type of thing, and campaigning. When they're out campaigning, okay, what happened? Well, I already started seeing the signs. I already started seeing what the media was saying. I already started seeing, connecting the dots. And I said, okay, to make this plan go forward and to have the blue states spill into the red states, the only way it would work is if you see an Amerifornia. If you see a selection in the presidency and Amerifornia could kick off and accelerate. Because another 4 years would have held America back from Canada and all those other countries, and affordability levels would have maintained kind of the same, because the Chinese hate Trump, and they have always hated Trump. And that's what was holding you guys back from now. They got to accelerate. Now they got to build the American economy off of housing, just like we did in Canada, and just like we did. We sell housing to wealthy investors. Now I want you to look up these articles because they exist. Whites and Aboriginals leaving Metro Vancouver, 2018 article by Douglas Todd. That explains how, so this was happening way before in other cities and parts of the world. It wasn't happening too much in America because in America, you have the freedom to live where you want and how you want, provided you could support yourself. Now, people could support themselves, but they can't even afford to pay their rent. Look this one up. Canada wants more Chinese, 500,000 per year. So Canada wants more Chinese. Type that in. That's by Canadian mainstream media wrote that article. Why? Because they bring money and they're good. While they keep deporting Europeans out of Canada, left, right, and center, tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of families deported since 2006. So you start connecting the dots, America, because this is coming. Amerifornia is not a joke. Amerifornia is friggin' real. And your major cities are going to be laid into empty shells. And homeowners will be wealthy on paper. But it's going to turn lively cities into complete empty shells. And it's going to create this generational wealth gap of... Anyways, I've said enough. It's hot. It's like 40. It's going to be 40 centigrade today. I brought my Corvette today out for a drive, enjoying my life. Because I didn't get my life. I didn't enslave myself in a house that I have to pay $4,000 a month for every month just to keep it going. Just to maintain, to buy a World War I built home that's realistically worth 17 grand in Alabama. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Lots of love. God bless. Share this video if you want. And send this video to a lot of the people that, with millions of subscribers that are telling people that the housing crash was going to happen in America. There's going to be a correction. Housing is out of reach. No. Those statistics, you can take those and throw them right in the garbage because they mean nothing. Anyways, lots of love. Be good, okay, guys?